You can go ahead and start with questions.
Second time in a row that Hannah's kind of just gone wild. I mean, she does it against everybody, but what is it about her that's just so tough to defend?
I would say the biggest thing, obviously her talent is obvious. I mean, that's, even if you're not a basketball person, you can tell that there's a talent level that she has that's pretty unique, But I think more importantly is the way she attacks everything that she does. The way she attacks your defense, the way when she's on defense she attacks your offense, and I think the way that she leads her team, in so many different ways. So I think you put all those three things together, and it's just a really, really, really difficult matchup for anybody. And she does what she does, and I don't know that there's a lot of strategies that you can use.
Besides her, what do you think that this one came down to?
Well, I mean, we had it. Well, we cut it to 2 at the end of the third quarter, and I thought we were in pretty good shape, and we gave up an open 3 at the end there that really kind of hurt us. But I think the overriding theme in the game was our inability to get enough people and get enough other people to contribute in our offense, other than Paige having to do the way Paige had to do it. So I think for us going forward, we need more contributions from more people, because they get a lot of contributions from a lot of people, So we need to be able to do that, And obviously, if AZ was one of those people that we could throw it to, maybe that changes things, but it shouldn't be the answer. I mean, if you're playing at Connecticut, you have to be that kind of kid that can make an impact in a game like this.
You mentioned earlier this week that you were curious to see how your players would just handle this environment, right?
Yeah.
And all that comes with it.
Yeah.
How do you feel like they did, especially with, all 10 of your available players, this was their first time playing here?
Yeah, none of them had ever been in this environment, So I thought, we were even the whole second half, I think, for the most part. I thought overall, they handled themselves okay. I just think that when you're clawing back all the time, it takes a life out of you after a while, But no, all in all, I think they handled it pretty well. I do.
Paige had to work so hard on so many shots. Can you just talk about how special she is and what it meant to you to see 2 All-Americans like that competing?
Well, we shot a lot of free throws tonight against a team that plays really poorly defensively, and they're not aggressive at all. So I can understand why we didn't get to the free throw line at all. But some of that is, you've got to take some of the pressure off of Paige, And sometimes she's her worst enemy, because she over-penetrates to try to get something in traffic and get to the free throw line and blah, blah, blah. And I think she makes it a little bit harder on herself than it has to be. But at the same time, if you're gonna play her the way they played her, which I think is what she's going to see a lot of, we need other contributions. And Paige is going to try to carry the team by herself when she thinks there aren't a lot of those contributions. And that's not good for her, and that's not good for us. So yeah, that's on us as coaches. We need to do a better job of that. And then if we have to play her the whole game, that's another layer on top of that. So we just got to find, some people to do a little bit more than they did tonight to help her.
The 3-point struggles, how much do you attribute that to the way that they defended you guys versus just kind of an off night shooting?
I would say the two concerns. One, we weren't able to get enough of them, okay? And then certainly we didn't make enough of them. I think the score was, 30-9 on threes, right? They made 10, we made 3.
Yeah.
That's a big, big, big deficit to try to come back on. So if you put, the threes and the free throws, it's just miraculous that we were even in this, in the second half. So yeah, we have to get more of them. I thought we had opportunities to get more of them, and we didn't. And being able to, you could say somebody's a pretty good 3-point shooter. Well, you really find out how good a 3-point shooter they are when they make them in this environment. With the score, when you're down 5 or 6 or 7, it's late in the game. So, first we work on getting more of them, and then we'll work on them going in.
What do you think of Sarah Strong's development? And really, this is like probably the biggest moment she's had.
Yeah, I thought the fouls in the first half really set her back a little bit, The third one was really weird, it was just kind of an accidental foul. But yeah, this is the first time in her career that she faced an environment like this, and she's only going to get better and better and better. And I thought that there were times when she was a little more passive than she can be. Other times this year she really took on an aggressive mentality. So I don't know if the fouls maybe made her a little more passive, but yeah, we need her. How many shots she take tonight? 10. 12. She took 12 shots today. Yeah, that's probably not enough. So same thing. 2 for 7. She's better than that.
And how do you view her as like the 5? I feel like you guys got pretty good backcourt depth. So how do you feel about that look?
Yeah, I like it. We would have to play small, which when we do, I think it changes how we play. You always say, well, we're going to play a couple big guys, but they have to be productive too. So sometimes being smaller gives you more opportunities because the floor opens up a lot more. And she's really good in the open floor because she's a tremendous passer. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of times when it'll be Sarah and 4 guards, for sure.
Seeing this Notre Dame team up close, do you think this is Neil's best team she's had since she's gotten the job? And is this a team that could be in a Final Four?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of last year's team, but Linda didn't play last year, right? And she missed most of Linda Miles. Olivia Miles.
Yeah, she missed the year.
Missed most of last year. So yeah, I think adding that element, I don't know if there's a better combination of guards, than those two, with how many different things they can hurt you with. And having only 6 players is a real blessing right now for them. I remember last year, you never subbed. So those guys are in there, you got to deal with them all the whole game. You're never looking at them and going, they're going to get a breather sometime soon. They don't. So those guys are attacking you for the entire 40 minutes, and I don't know that I've seen anybody, up close yet that can do that. So, yeah. Obviously they lost 2 games, so there's probably no team out there that you say is unbeatable. And if you put Notre Dame against any other team in the country, I don't think anybody would be surprised if they won that game.
And then you've talked about your team wanting to develop more of a killer instinct. Is that just a learning process a little bit for this younger, more inexperienced group, or can a game like this help them towards that, especially like, USC's waiting next week, Iowa State's waiting next week?
I think so. It's funny because people talk about that, and you hear coaches talk about it, including me. You talk about we have to have that kind of instinct. And when you really have that killer instinct, when you're up 10, and now you want to be up 20. And kids feel confident that if I don't make this shot, it doesn't matter, we're still up 10. But you really find out if you have it when you're down 7, and we really need you to make a 3 right now. We really need to get a stop right now. We have to get this rebound right now. So I think we were in a lot of those situations tonight. And we were successful some of the time, and we struggled some of the other times. So if we can build on the successes, I think for this young team, I think they'll be good.
What's impressed you most about Sarah's poise so far this season, even in games like tonight where she is kind of facing those challenges that maybe she
Nothing seems to speed her up. Some players, when they get an environment like this with Notre Dame's aggressiveness, they get a little bit antsy and jumpy. She kind of stays the same all the time. For me, for Sarah, it's just a matter of she needs to be playing college basketball a little bit longer to really start to showcase all the things that she can do. She's still too much of a pleaser, so that's not a bad thing until it is. But yeah, no, I don't worry about her, getting sped up or anything like that. Her poise is pretty unique for a freshman.
Following up on Alexa's question, knowing who you guys have next, especially in next weekend, what do you want our teams to take away from this loss?
Well, a loss is a loss, so you take away the fact that we didn't win, which sucks, right? But the team we play Sunday, right, isn't Notre Dame. And they don't pose the same challenges as Notre Dame. They pose different challenges. So you go home and you put a game plan together for Sunday's game. And then whatever happens Sunday, you put a game plan together for Tuesday's game. And then the following Saturday's game. So each game you take away something that you can use in your next game plan, but every game's different too. So there's a couple things that we have to go back and address that are certainly within our control. Some of it is youth, some of it is just undisciplined, some of it is carelessness. So we have to do a better job with that as coaching staff and as players. Young players have a tendency that when they're good, they get better. And when they're struggling, they struggle more. So flipping that switch a little bit. And we could have very easily been down 25. And instead we cut it to 2. So that tells us something.
Obviously learn from it, grow from it. We'll watch film, break down what we need to get better at, and use this as a way to build and get better, and take the loss as a lesson, but also use it as fuel. They beat us, they deserve to win. They played harder than us and they wanted it more, which is what we can't have as a team. So to continue to get better, watch the film, break it down, really take it to heart what they did to us, and the loss that we had, and continue to move forward.
Can you talk about the challenge of competing against another All-American, just what that means to you to have that high level of competition that you bring, another player brings?
Yeah, They have a lot of good players on that team. Obviously, Hidalgo is the head of the snake, and she does a lot of great things offensively, defensively. She's a pest, but I think the best thing that she does is her energy and her attitude, and the way she leads that team with that, and the fire that she brings. So again, just wanting to play in these matchups, play against other great players, and continue to challenge yourself in ways, and continue to challenge the team in ways is what you want.
It's a tough night for you guys from three. Just what did their defense do that was making it so difficult for you guys to get to something there?
Just denying a lot, switching a lot, just making it hard and not getting many open looks. But a lot of that too is just on us, taking our time, knocking shots down. Yeah.
It seemed like they were trying to get you off the ball a little bit more. Like, how do you sort of balance, like, you know, when you're initiating the offense in the half court versus trying to pick your spots off the ball?
Yeah, being on ball the entire time is probably easier to guard than moving off the ball. Continue to work to try to get other people open, screen, cut, and play within the flow of the offense. But then again, like you said, there's times too where you get the ball and you make plays, you distribute, you get to the rack, and create from there. So again, always just trying to find that balance.
It's got to be tougher without Fudd out there.
Yeah, I mean, whoever's out there, I think we showed that last year that we expect to win and we want to win, and that's always the plan. So whoever we have out there, we have full confidence in.
You know, Coach said it was impressive your guys' ability just to not let the clawing back take a lot out of you guys. Right? You could have easily been down by 25, came back, we're only down by 2. What impressed you the most about just everyone's poised enough to like keep going and keep fighting?
Yeah, just to respond to the challenge. I think this was probably the first time we've trailed at halftime this season. So again, with such a young group, there's different things that present itself each and every game. And at halftime, the game could have went 2 different ways. We could have quit, gave up. They could have blown us out, or we could have responded to that challenge and fought back. So I thought we did that. And then they went on another run, and we didn't have a response after that. So continue to know basketball is a game of runs, and continue to grow in that, expect that, embrace that, and continue to stay poised and stay together.
Do you feel like you have to be kind of the center of like this, like Coach just said, you know, the killer instinct? Do you feel like you have to start with that and hope everybody kind of feeds off of you?
Definitely. As a leader, as a veteran, I guess, player with the most experience, definitely have to lead with that and use my voice and lead with my passion, my energy, and then everybody else will follow. But it's not a one-man thing. Like, we need everybody to do it, all 1 through 14, no matter how many minutes you play, no matter what your role is. You can always bring energy, effort, and attitude, so that's something that we all have to embody.
It seemed like you guys got a lot of that from KK tonight. Just what did you feel like was working for her, especially offensively?
I think just her attacking, her putting her head down, getting to the basket, creating. She's very quick, so she used her speed and athleticism to get to the basket, and we wanted to do that, space the floor out and attack, and I thought she did a really good job of that.
First real big game for Sarah Strong. Curious how you felt she played and what you think of when, like, she's at the 5 and you guys are spacing the floor a little bit more with 4 guards.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah's very consistent. She plays extremely hard. She rebounds well. She defends well, and she attacks the basket, and she's really strong offensively. She doesn't really have a weakness, so I thought she played well. Still, obviously, she's a freshman, so this is like obviously the first true road game for her. So continue to grow and get better from that. I think she's great at the 4, at the 5, at the 3. She can play all positions. It makes us more go into like a 5-out, 4 guards around her. She can create, she can distribute, handle the ball, and so I think that spreads our offense a little bit more.
What do you like about these like early season sort of big games? Is there anything you've learned over the years as a veteran that like you'll take back to the younger players about these big games earlier in the season?
Yeah, it's a measuring point. Obviously, we started out 8-0, played some pretty good teams, and got some pretty good wins. But this exposed what we still need to continue to get better at, and what we need to fix heading into another rough part of the schedule. So just to continue to learn, get better, not get complacent, have these challenges early so we can continue to grow and get challenged like this. I think it'll be better for the future.
Thanks, everyone.